This is Radio TV Phono Nut, and here's a gift that was sent to me. So let's open the box up and see what we have inside. Nicely wrapped in good quality bubble wrap. Looks like we have a little solid state table radio from the late 60s. Let's get the wrap off of it and have a better look at it. We have an Admiral solid state AM radio, probably from about 67 or 68. In fact, I think they use this same tuning knob on some of their later AM tube radios. It's in a white plastic case, looks to have a top firing speaker. Admiral Corporation, Chicago, Illinois, the standard don't remove the back cover warning, and made in Japan. And I think Admiral was pretty early in the game as far as moving radio production to Japan. I think that started about 64 or 5. They weren't the earliest, but they were pretty early. I'm told this thing is totally dead, so let's get in here and see if we can find out why it's totally dead and try to do something about it. Alright, we're plugged in. Let's turn it on. And just like he told me, nobody's home. Let's get the back off and have a look-see. Okay, this looks pretty typical. This is the type chassis that has no power transformer. It runs directly off of the supply line. And they use high voltage for the audio output stage and a big drop-in resistor to drop the voltage down for the front end stages. Now I already see a wire that's loose in here. I don't know if that's supposed to be disconnected or not. I know they made a clock version of this set, so that may be an unused wire for the only used in the clock model. So let's get this apart and see what's up with it. Okay, I've already verified 120 AC going into the diode. Coming out, we have 54, 55 volts. Going into the resistor, we have 54 volts, which tells us the trace is not broken between the diode and the resistor. Coming out of the resistor, we have absolutely zip. So that tells us that resistor is probably open, and it's not getting warm to the touch, so that tells us nothing is shorted and drawing too much current through it. Here's the resistor, and it measures open. The markings are very faded on it. I'm going to have to put it under my magnifier and try to bring them out. And if I can, I'll just have to use my resistance subber and start out high and get a value that works well. Or else order a schematic off of eBay and wait for it to show up. Okay, it's a 300 ohm, and that sounds about right. Now let me look around here and see if I can find a 300 ohm power resistor that I can stick in here and see what happens. I stuck a 330 ohm 2 watt in there for testing. I'm going to bring it up slow, because really that's not big enough, but maybe it'll stay long enough to give me some kind of idea about what's going on here. If I'm lucky, the resistor will be all that's wrong with it. I checked the audio output transistor and it seems okay, so that's really about the only major thing that could short, and I'm not detecting any short from the filter capacitor, so let's just see. Alright, we're at about 40 volts input. And as you can tell, it's playing, so that's all I needed to know. And that resistor is getting a bit warm, so if I bumped it up to 120, it would sure enough probably get hot and burn up. So I need to find the proper 330 ohm resistor, preferably a wire wound one. Now this one's what's called a fusible resistor, but a suitable flame-proof or wire wound resistor will burn open if something hard shorts and draws too much current through it. I would not put a carbon composition resistor in there, because if it goes up, it's going to go up in a ball of fire. So you want to use either a high wattage.
12 voltage film resistor or a wire wound resistor.
12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. 12 voltage film resistor. Okay, this is what you call a hack repair. When you don't have the right part on hand, you make do with what you have. But don't worry, as soon as I place a Mauser order, which hopefully won't be too much longer, I'll order the correct 300 ohm resistor and put in here. Right now I just have a series parallel combination of resistors to get close to what we need, and the radio works, but I don't want somebody taking the back off of this thing 50 years from now and talking about me like I talk about some of the folks that have made some of the repairs and some of the sets I've worked on.
Learn about money. Junior's Adventure.
Here we are back together.
Incorporated. This is Jim Newmeyer, CEO of CV.
And we're getting some DX. Of course, it's nighttime. We should get some DX.
I didn't know you knew who Clyde was.
There's my country station. It's all the way at the top end of the dial. I think it falls in what you call the extended band, which was added sometime in the 90s. A lot of the older radios had it because that was the old police band, but then they dropped it in later years and then re-added it to later model AM radios.
Seriously, Dr. Ungolani hit.
And that little squeal is because that's 910, and which is double the IF frequency of 455, so that's normal. Not much on the lower end, but light interference.
Digital date night, Wednesday night.
But okay, this one's done until I order the correct part, but
there's just something
to the one who sent me this, you know who you are.
There's something wrong with that.
I appreciate it very much, and
It's an oxymoron. It's like
it will go up on the shelf with my other radios that I have on display. And with that said, hope y'all got something out of this, and more to come later. But yeah, these little solid state sets that are line operated like this one is, and many others, both USA made and Japanese ones, when you find one that's dead, 9 times out of 10 it's usually something in the power supply, usually the rectifier diode shorts or the filter cap shorts, and burns open this fusible resistor, this dropping resistor. It's also a fusible resistor. And sometimes this resistor will just open up on its own. You know, they get hot and they just open. Occasionally the audio output transistor will short and blow this resistor, but most of the time it's power supply related.
pile of cash.
Alright, there you go.
Completely.
More to come later.
I know. Listen, you're an entrepreneur. You're a